Hello world, it is Monday, March 1st, and it looks to be another bright, sunshiny day today. A little bit cooler temperatures than yesterday, but the trend is definitely toward more spring-like weather. The devotion for today is entitled Look by Anthony Robinson. Anthony bases the devotion upon Numbers chapter 21, verse 9. New Revised Standard Version. So Moses made a serpent of bronze and put it upon a pole, and whenever a serpent bit someone, the person would look at the serpent of bronze and live. And Tony's devotion. Sometimes we go to great lengths to avoid actually looking at what is causing pain, even death, in our own lives and communities. Why? Is it because if we look at the problem head on, chances are good that we will have to deal with it? On the wilderness journey, the Hebrew people complained long and loud about their situation. They accused Moses of bringing them out of slavery in Egypt only to kill them in the wilderness. Their lack of faith led to an invasion of poisonous snakes. Moses received a strange instruction from God. Make a serpent of bronze and put it on a pole. If people are bitten, they are to look at the bronze serpent and they will be healed. They were to look at the source of pain and death. Lent is a good time to come clean about the things that are real sources of pain and death in our lives and relationships, and to ask God's help to be delivered from them. Grudges we carry and refuse to release, addictions we don't admit, anger we've allowed to eat away at us, sin we have failed to own. We may point to, even treat the symptoms: fatigue, irritability, deadness in relationships, but avoid looking at the source of the pain. But when we look directly at the source of pain in our lives and take responsibility for action, a wondrous thing can happen. That source of pain may become a source of healing. And Tony's prayer. This Lent, help me to look to the cross of Christ, sign of death and sign of life. Amen. Well, there's a number of interesting things that this devotion brings to mind for me. Excuse me. One that hit me was 12-step programs, and how the first step is admitting that you have a problem over which you are powerless. Until you face that you do have a problem, or admit to yourself that you have a problem, you're never going to change. This devotion also made me think of the church and what's happening with churches in general and declining interest and participation in churches. And sometimes it's not being willing to take a hard look at who and how we are in the world and what our mission truly is, and being honest with ourselves about what we are or what we aren't doing. Until we face that pain, nothing's really going to change. We have to face it and come to terms with it and understand it and go from there. I was also struck that the serpent on a pole is the symbol of the medical community too, and I imagine it comes from this, but I'm not certain that that's absolutely true. But certainly until we find something in our lives, or we have something in our lives that we're willing to take a hard look at, that we don't like, or that's bothering us or preventing us from becoming the people that God created us to be, until we face it, it will continue to fester and impede us. So it's important to face what it is that we know in our hearts is keeping us from truly living. And Lent, what better time than Lent to actually take that time to do that? So I hope you have a good day. I hope you can reflect on your life and look at those things that you're less than happy with, and decide that today is the day where you're going to take a step in a different direction. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.